Let's go!
We got him in, dude. It's real. They are physically here, you know. I don't know if the Xbox version is going to end up getting a physical one too, but yeah, it actually is real. Marvel's actually back in physical form. I'm gonna open up one of these, and I think that's very necessary, right? Properly see the interior contents of what a video game is like in the year of our Lord 2024. I don't really open up many games anymore, just all things considered. Yeah, I'm sure we're not gonna get much, you know, just for comparison's sake. Here's what the back looks like, full of MVC2 art. I think I'll do the Switch version, right? I think I'll do the Switch version, and here's the thing, I will also go and get some previous MVC physicals that came out and show you what those were like. I wish there was a collector's edition. Man, oh man. This is Game of the Year nominated Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade Classics. Game of the Year nominated. Like they forgot, they got this sticker in there. They got that one, but they didn't get a big old Jeff Keighley face or some shit. Fighting Game of the Year nominated. Which is still crazy to me. Why the Switch version? Because the PS4 version looks better. Then I think I just want to keep this one in its case. Can't even put this in my PS5 Pro. I can't. That's a good point. It's a good point. But I already bought, you know, the digital versions of this stuff, granted. Capcom is like, yeah, sales of the game are meeting expectations and all this stuff. So it's like, oh, that's great, right? Oh, you know, game is actually managing to be a collection of old 20-plus-year-old things, and people are seemingly happy, and it's meeting sales expectations. Great. That's wonderful. That was just digital. I know a shit ton of people that waited. Like, a ton of people don't have the money to afford, like, multiple $40 versions of a game or some shit. You know, I'll just watch people play it until you get your physical release. Did it end up being 50? Was it 50? Can't remember. It's been a while since it came out. Either way, you know, that makes sense. It makes sense that the majority of people, not the majority, but I'd say a big chunk, a healthy chunk of folks, that sales data isn't even being counted for yet. You know, the fact that the physical version wasn't even shipped out yet and stores got them. So I think that was kind of smart from Capcom. It effectively is a double dipping situation, which has precedence for the history of the MVC series and one side of it, which is specifically Marvel and X-Men. Chat, for anybody guys that don't know, double dipping was the thing that made X-Men #1 in the early 90s the best-selling comic book of all time, because there was 4 parts. There was 4 parts to the cover of like all the X-Men fighting that legendary ass Magneto where he's holding up his hand and shit. They got people to buy the comic 4 fucking times. Pretty smart with like variants and stuff. That's kind of effectively what this is, because people are like, well, I want to play it now and I want to, you know, also have a physical because we have learned the cost of releasing MVC2 and MVC games physically in the past. So anyway, I'm gonna open this now, right? I'm opening it. I'm opening the Switch version for the hell of it. Believe it or not, the Switch version shockingly runs very good. For anybody that has had an opportunity to play a multitude, clearly like the PC version's up there, but comparatively speaking, the Switch version and the PlayStation 4 version run great. In the past, they have not. In the previous Capcom Fighting Classics, or the ones that they've had for, you know, Capcom Fighting Collections, there's a lot of input delay. It was one of the bigger criticisms I had of the collection that had Darkstalkers. And when you play Darkstalkers, you're kind of like, ugh, this doesn't feel great. This is the first collection, in my opinion, where Capcom effectively got the memo. The games have to feel good. These games arguably have like some of the longest running legacy of people playing them for a really long period of time. So if they don't perform well, people will really notice really fast. Let's find out if it's a box with a code. No, it is a box with a little chip. What does this taste like? What does this taste like? Did they, Nintendo, did you still make these taste terrible? Oh, they don't taste good. Ooh, that doesn't taste like Marvel or Capcom. Tastes like I should not be putting that in my mouth. Why? They do that. A reminder, the last time I tasted a Switch cartridge was when the system came out. And because they're so small, they were worried that kids were gonna eat them. So you know what they did? They made them unedible. Like, they made them taste really bad. I have good news. Last time I did that was in 2017. Still tastes bad. Let me get this little comic out of here. Oh, look at this little baby comic. Wait a minute. What the? Look at this little baby comic. What is this thing? This is funny. Oh, it's so tiny. This is the Switch version. Are they all that small? Is this one that small too? That doesn't even make any sense. I'm assuming the one that's in here is actually bigger. It's also the same size as the PS4. Is it really this big? Because clearly this is clearly intended to only go in here, right? Like the size of this, that makes sense why it's this small because it can only fit in the box, right? It's the same size on Switch. Oh no. What is this, a comic book for ants? Here we go. Maybe there's a large size one we can buy. All right, there we go, chat. I'm opening the comic. And we are looking into it. There is credits. There are names of people that were involved in the creation of this. Check it out. Like, look at that. Look at this. It looks so big now, comparatively speaking. It looks so big. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, this is crazy. This is a Marvel vs. Capcom comic in the year of our Lord. A very tiny. Actually, I'm just huge, right? I am just
extra big.
Right, I only look at the pictures, right? I never learned how to read. It's not bad. It's actually got a pretty decent art style too. I like it. I like it. Does anybody remember the previous MVC3 covers and stuff? Some of them had really cool covers and some of them did not. Some of the art styles in a couple of those previous colors weren't particularly like amazing. It was like some of the big official like American made art for the MVC games was kind of like, some of it was great and some of it was like, I don't know, man, this doesn't look too good. Doom is reverse foot diving up dat ass. That's pretty good. Look at this, man. Look at this. Anyway, this is cool, dude. And it's funny that it's tiny. I almost would have preferred if they just like gave us a proper, you know, large scale sized comic. I do think that there was some stuff going on with actual Marvel comics and they were releasing MVC2 artwork on Marvel comics, which is pretty cool. Akuma, is this perspective or what the hell are we, what is going on? Did they squeeze you? Oh my God. I am Power Made Flesh. He certainly is. Let's read the last page. All right, so here is the last page. I'm going to hold it up here and see if I can full screen this thing so I can actually read it. Captain America says, it's wrong to hit an opponent while they're down. Ryu says, don't honor, your honor does you credit. It's hard for me to read this from the screen. Captain, now watch as I destroy you. Are they playing MVC? Oh, they're playing, they have like PlayStation controllers. What the hell? Psylocke says, can you believe these people somehow managed to save the world? I'm gonna steal everything in here, said Ruby Heart. Captain Commando says Mega Man's cheating. Mega Man says, I'm just talking to the game system. It's not my fault it doesn't like you. Then Iron Man says, yeah, that happens when you stab him. What is this, an Assist Me episode? What is this shit, dude? What the? This is like a walking Assist Me gag. This is weird. What the hell? Did I write this? No. No, oh, this is cool, right? Dude, check this out. Thanos and this guy, this other Shoto, Akuma, fighting. This is neat. Anyway, that is cool. It is tiny. It is very tiny. But at the same point, everyone's like, oh, there's a hint towards the future of the franchise in the end. And I'm like, I don't know if I feel that is a direct hint. There is a direct hint though, chat. And the hint is the credits theme in the MVC collection. If you fire up the MVC collection, there's a proper credits theme, right? And it's a unique theme made for the credits of the whole collection itself. No kidding. The title of that theme is extremely referential towards the future of Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, the credits theme is called a promise of a return fight or something. Like a promise of return. Anyway, cool, right? Cool. I almost wish I opened up this one so I could see the comically small comic book inside this. Damn, I said comically small. I'm really a dad. I wanted to show you though, Physical versions. Hold on a second. Other physicals in the times long past. Here is MVCI. Right, this is the one where they came with this friggin' PlayStation exclusive Carol costume that I do not have. And yeah, I kind of like this one. I actually really dig this artwork in general. I kind of wanted to get this in MVCIB, right? Sort of cool. This was a steel book, and you know, it's got a copy of Mortal Kombat 1 in it. Do I have the stones? No, I don't. I do not. I do not have the eggs, my dude. I do not have any of them eggs. I do have this though, right? And this ended up being worth a lot of goddamn money, but this is sort of a collector's item. This is unopened, right? I actually got this one from Capcom when the game came out, right after we did Ultimate Assist Me and stuff like that. So this one, true, label intact. I can't even open this for you, man. This is still the way it is. This isn't worth nearly as much anymore because the game came out on PlayStation 4, you know, several years later. Very comparable to what we have here. Very comparable was this. Anybody remember this? This was, and I don't think this one actually came with any kind of collection at all. They just shoved this bitch out 6 months later. I'm sorry, 8 months later. So this is Marvel vs. Capcom 3. This is the Alvin Lee color, and you can see that on, yeah, the background, you get all these different characters. And if we pop it open, oh, it comes with a comic book, and a somewhat tiny, but appropriately sized comic book. And yeah, it's this artwork. And yeah, this is one of my personal favorite artworks that they released for MVC3. But this was just vanilla. This is MVC3, not Ultimate. This is just vanilla. This was the artwork that I didn't particularly love. This is the, if you just buy the game regularly, I wasn't a huge fan of this one. Very particular in how the characters looked here. They're making them look as Western as they possibly can, but check this out. Shinkiro art. Shinkiro art in the background. That's one of the first posters they had for the game. This was sick, right? This was very cool. The nice part is that, oh, there's some more in there. The nice part is that in this game is still all the original vanilla MVC3 stuff. Ooh, the back has stuff too. So yeah, this copy of the game, I sort of love going back to Fate of Two Worlds because you get to see all the vanilla stuff, the vanilla menus, the vanilla UI, like all of that stuff. The wind screens are completely different in this game. So yeah, it's always nice to like culture shock people that have been looking at Ultimate Marvel 3 for so long because we have been looking at this game for like the longest period of time, you know, the classic Shinkiro cover. Let's go through this. Let me show you what this is like. So this is the Fate of Two Worlds comic. I actually have this as a shirt. They released these very exclusively for a limited period of time as a t-shirt, right? And the only way you can get them was from, I think, pre-ordering the game back in like 2010 or something like that, or going up to a stage at the Capcom booth at E3 and winning like 5 to 10 games in a row. So anybody that knew how to play fighting games all got the shirt. It was like me and Keats and like, you know, several others. This shirt, I got a couple of them. Still, one of them's very faded and one of them I never wore. Became pretty rare. Became kind of one of the more rare MVC collectible things there sort of is over time. This comic is neat. You effectively see a lot of this book and this artwork. I think it ends up going into Ultimate Marvel 3. Don't these elements end up making it into Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3? I think it does at the beginning of the game or something like that. Yeah, it's like the pre-story as it's like scrolling through and there's a comic book of like where we are and how we got here and stuff. It's pretty similar to this, why these characters are here and what they're doing, what they do. Yes, because yeah, this image looks very familiar. This image looks pretty much what you see in the game. You know what I mean? But yeah, after you get past that, there's a shit ton of official character artwork. This is a lot of the stuff that was sort of shared over time. This is the very first promotional artwork from Shinkiro, the one on the right. That was released. And this was from the E3 demo. This is before see Viper, Dr. Doom, Super Skrull, like you see all those characters in the background. This was back when Frank was going to be in the vanilla game and then they saved him for Ultimate. So early on, this was like almost a year before the game came out, Frank is there. And then obviously Dormammu up there. Frank would end up getting saved until the next game. Yeah, there's some fun shit in here, man. Like, dude, you realize how much artwork Shinkiro made for this game, and it's kind of crazy, dude. Like, every single time they had new characters revealed, Shinkiro showed up and made a new piece of artwork, as well as the stuff for Ultimate Marvel 3. Look at this shit, man. You never see this one. You never see this piece of art, like ever. And this one I like. This is the Japanese box art, and I think it's great, but it effectively is using the in-game character models. Look how weird Ryu looks, dude. Look at Ryu's like weird face. Ryu's got a very weird Roman-looking face in this game. He doesn't look like Ryu at all. This is some promotional art, and I think this is also fan art. I think some stuff that made it into this book ended up being fan art, which is a thing that they did kind of like repeatedly. This one's funny. This one definitely is an art style that is not initially synonymous with Marvel vs. Capcom. That is definitely interesting. This one is amazing, dude. Look at this shit, bro. Look at this shit. The one on the right, it looks pretty good too, to be honest. I actually really dig the one on the right. But the one on the left is by this one Capcom artist that has not, I don't think has been around for that long at this point, was kind of a newer artist. The art style's amazing. It's so cool. You might remember a couple of these. Dude, this one right here is, I believe, Bengus. This is Bengus, and this one right here is Kinu Nishimura. So these are literally like a couple of the Capcom god artists, all doing huge promotional artwork. You realize how much artwork MVC3 got, dude? They went ham. And then, yeah, this is the fan art section. So an entire dedicated fan art section, which is crazy. It's so good. Oh my God, my dude, chill. Jesus, chill. Look at this 2010, 2011 circa art. So cool. Anyway, this has happened before, is all I'm saying. Like the game effectively getting a comic book packaged together in a specific way. This was almost 14 years ago, but you know, we've had a few of these in the past, but you had to get the special editions for them to effectively be a reality. This isn't a special edition of any kind. They just threw a comic book in here, or in here, you know, which is why I'm assuming it is effectively this big, why it is that tiny. That makes sense because this is just an additional expense that they normally would not have, and now they're having to do it to make this appealing so that you can actually buy the game again. So I get it. But I think the whole point of this is that, bro, we have like a physical, actual, I'm holding a copy of an MVC game, right? I'm holding a copy of a Marvel vs. Capcom game again in my hand.